Stop the car! Kisumi Shigino! Kisumi stopped the vehicle, frantically. I'm glad he didn't get in the accident. I opened the door to see Seimaru. It was still raining. Go. Be careful, Makoto said with concern. Hello, Seimaru, it's me. Go. Your team captain. You know, the whole team was looking for you. I paused. Seimaru grunted at me and stared across the street like she was waiting for the bus. Say, please don't go, I said to her, and then the rain grew even more and more heavy. Seimaru, we will take you home, Makoto said to her. Both Sei and I headed into the car. Seimaru was still shivering, so cold, and was drenched and very wet. Makoto gave me his coat, and then Kisumi gave his coat to Seimaru. The coats kept us somewhat warm until he dropped Makoto and I off at his place. Seimaru still hasn't said a word. Seimaru needs a place to stay warm, I said to Kisumi. I will look after her with Haru. I might have her sleep on her couch. Seimaru, you can text Gou to tell her how you are feeling. Alright? She nodded and said, Arigatou gozaimasu. You're welcome, Kisumi replied. Gou and Makoto, you take care. We will. Bye, Kisumi. And then Kisumi said, Jane. Makoto let me use his restroom to change while he went on his phone to do a DoorDash order of yakisoba, tuna, pokeball, a salad, and some ginseng tea for dinner. Go, darling, you finished in there? I confirmed with him. You got us dinner, right? He told me yes. I was looking forward to that. He told me briefly what happened at his work. So the kids basically were behind in their backstroke, so he had to stay a little late to just help them out. What a softie. I told him about how I was feeling towards swimming, like I wasn't good enough, but he encouraged me to keep going. I was hoping to hear from Seimaru. Makoto, after seeing today, I was a little relieved, but I've been worried about her for a while. It almost reminds us of that time we almost lost Ray in our own team. When the whole time he was just getting help from my own brother. Makoto remembered that. We were all so crazy thinking he was in love with his old track captain. Makoto laughed. I told Ray if he needed help with love, he could just ask me for it, and then he said love is illogical. We both laughed. Ray is such a good friend. I do believe he could fall in love someday, I said to Makoto, and he agreed. Mako dear, I believe Seimaru is hiding something. It's not clear to me.
We'll deal with it in the morning, Makoto said. Dinner should be arriving soon. As soon as dinner arrived, we ate a lot, and we got ready. We ate a lot, enough to get tired for bed. I will keep you warm in my arms. Oyasumi, princess, Makoto said. And I said, Oyasumi, my mate. We snuggled. felt so good. He is such a teddy bear. You seem to be enjoying it too. The next morning arrived. My alarm rang. I got up before him to prepare breakfast. I decided to have a simple meal of rice, veggies, and grilled fish. I poured us both glasses of orange juice and made the coffee. Makoto then woke up, still half asleep, and he came to me. Ohayo, darling. Ohayo to you. Also, breakfast is ready. I decided just to make something more simple and traditional today. It smells wonderful. He said. We both said our blessings to our food. Takemas. And then my phone started to ring again. Well, it wasn't bad news. It was just Kisame. Moshi Moshi. He said hello back to me. He was just telling me about Seimaru. He told me that Seimaru did pass out. She slept on the sofa and was bundled up in blankets from Haru's bed. Haru didn't seem to mind it. She just got up a few minutes ago and she seems to be sick from the cold. Luckily, it wasn't a fever. So Haru prepared her some mackerel, of course, for breakfast. She might not be well enough for practice. I asked if she could speak to me. She did give me a few text messages, and I asked about how was the company. She said, how was the company? And I also asked, and she told me it was fine. And I also asked her how she was feeling. She said she was okay, but she hasn't been the same. Is there something I can do? I asked. And Seimaru just told me that she'll tell me later. I also asked one last thing to her. Do you want to swim again? Our whole team is counting on you. We have an intense meet against the Harajuku Swim Club. I know you mentioned wanting to go there sometime. Seimaru gave me a happy face emoji as she seemed to be excited about it now. And I told her that Hana-chan's fashion show is there too. And she seemed to have a little bit more excitement about it. After that talk, Mako and I decided to walk to our nutrition class together. Class was over. I decided to meet up with Satomi. She was planning to visit Cafe Marin since Hana-chan was on her shift there. I was excited to tell her about the news about Seimaru returning back on the team. Hana-chan greeted us at the cafe doors. The cafe was very busy today. Makoto came with me. And then he met up with Rei. Oddly enough, Nagisa wasn't with him. Hi, Rei. It was nice seeing you, too. I waved to him.
Go-san, if you don't mind if Makoto-senpai and I have a chat together, is my cousin doing any better? He asked.
I told him I didn't mind. After all, I'm sure Rei wanted to catch up with Makoto. I told him that Seimaru is sick, but luckily it's only a cold. She should be better and back on the team in a couple of days. Rei was very relieved. Satomi also was relieved when she overheard it. I'm glad you heard it, Satomi. Let's bond over some coffee and our plans. Hana-chan also tried to listen, as she kept receiving a lot of orders from the customers that day. Well, by the way, I forgot to mention to you, Hana-chan is having me as one of her models in the fashion show, Satomi told me. Well, congratulations, Satomi, I said to her. And then shortly after that, we discussed the plan and the regimen. It turns out in this race,
The plan was for me to do breaststroke this time. I was a little bit nervous since this is my first time doing it. And Satomi won't be doing it this time. And Nagisa won't be here either. So I have to figure it out on my own. I wonder where Nagisa is, I asked Satomi. He just got a job recently at the animal shelter. He'll be working most of that day. I'm glad he got a job. He was probably working there today as well. I wonder if Haru is away for a competition or two, or maybe you just never know with him. He probably got another job. After having a good cup of joe and some pastries while discussing the plan, I headed back home to get ready for the next day, to try out my new outfit and my hairdo for the occasion. Hana-chan closed up the shop at Cafe Mary. So, she was asleep for a very long time that day.